Are you an idiot?
And
Are you an idiot?
full of
You're an
it.
idiot.
You just showed
You're an
yourself.
idiot.
I didn't even
You're an
have to
idiot
call
that's
you
sitting
out.
on one of this.
I
I
didn't
want
have
to
to expose you. You
situations.
exposed
Are
me.
you
They're
in
not
your shit talking
stupid.
punk?
Hello and welcome to another day in paradise and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropean. In today's video, last night was wild.
He's sticking his fingers up. And he's not doing
The live interview with Bomani Tyemba was something that I wasn't expecting, simply because when you see real businessmen, they don't tend to act in a manner which is not conducive to their business. But he did. He kind of destroyed his own business, didn't he? He kind of destroyed any type of credibility people would have in himself as a businessman and in his company. It was almost as if he purposefully self-destructed and then kind of took enjoyment in doing it. You know how you get those people who just love to watch things burn, you know, arsonists. It was like he was an arsonist to his own image. Clearly, that was not the first time that he had disrespected himself and his audience. There are two former business partners who had an acquaintance with Bomani in the past. Garveyism and Kwaku, two, we call them Black British, I guess. I don't like calling them Black British. I don't believe in the word black for us. One is of Jamaican origin and the other one is definitely of Caribbean origin, but both of them are Black British. Garveyism, Kwaku and Bomani all wanted to set up an initiative similar to the one that you're seeing being sold by Bomani today. However, this one was called Garveytown. Now, this Garveytown initiative quickly unraveled. Of course it would have, with a person like Bomani heading it. I know precious little about the details of how it unraveled, but Kwaku and Garveyism both made one video. Then in that video, they explained the problems that they were having communicating with Bomani, and we're going to listen to some of those videos today and we're going to try and analyze them. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description, and please consider following the Oversight channel if you want better information on how to invest in Africa while staying away from people like Bomani. If you watched the interview last night, you have to sort of try and filter away the obvious inability that he has to communicate in an articulate and intelligent manner. He couldn't do that. Or sometimes you could see him trying to. Sometimes you could actually watch the video and you could see him fighting with himself. You'd need to take a look at the video in itself. Take a little look at a few extracts from last night's interview. Now, it would be easy for me to just out him and say that he's a narcissist. He is displaying a lot of narcissistic traits. There is definitely some antisocial personality disorder, behavioral problems inside him. You can see that for yourself. He struggles to communicate. He struggles to control his temper. He's basically living in a constant state of rage, and he is controlling that rage and he is allowing it to come out. Hence the reason you saw him swearing and cursing, even though he knew there were hundreds of people who were potential customers of his watching him. He believed that what he was doing was going to be in the benefit of the people that were watching him. He thought that the people that were going to watch him were going to be like, wow, what a great guy, what a fantastic guy. This is definitely the type of guy that I would want to do business with. Take a listen to this.
This message here is directed at Bomani. I see that your intent is to disrupt things. I'll talk to you straight so everybody know what I said to you directly. You listen to the conversation before and it coming like every time we get to a point where there's a bit of cohesiveness, you come like some little devil.
Now that was Kwaku, I believe. And what he just said was really important, because he said that every time there seemed to be a flow in information, constructive conversation, there seemed to be a stoppage where Bomani would come out and he would do exactly what I said. He would just allow this rage to come out and disrupt things. And this is exactly what we saw last night. Why were we seeing this?
Me try to be open with you, try to be diplomatic with you, but it's like you are intent on disrupting things. Stop trying to disrupt my friend. I'm not playing no game with nobody, you know. Me tired of your mischief making. Allow the behavior. I already left a message in here to allow the behavior and have some manners and respect. Now here you're allowing me now to have to address you because you just don't know how to behave yourself. You don't know how to conduct yourself. It's like you got two personalities.
And bingo. It's like he's got two personalities. That is definitely true. If you watch last night's interview, you will see him go to a point in which he was talking. He was essentially doing his best to control the rage that's inside of him. And then every now and again, it would come out when I said something that would trigger it. So what you see there when he's doing this, what you see is a man who right there on video was putting his mask on and taking it off, putting it on and taking it off. That is what Bomani was doing last night. It's what he was doing when he speaks to people that he works with. He puts his mask on and takes it off, and it's as if he does not have control over it. All I had to do was say a few trigger words and boom, that mask would come off straight away. And he has no control over that. Imagine doing business with a man like that.
1 minute you're riling up the people. When them rile up, you are calm them down. And nobody in Garvey town will be ruling anybody. So if you was a Garveyite, behave like one. The way your text reads, brethren, it don't read like somebody that's trying to bring cohesiveness and unity, your moja amongst our people. It coming like you're some little isfe trying to just disrupt and lurking in the background to mash up things. What's the matter with you, brethren?
That's a funny question. What's the matter with you? I actually asked him this question about 5 times last night because there is clearly something wrong with that young man. He's definitely struggling. Imagine being 43 years old. He's my age. Imagine being at that age and not being able to control your temper. Imagine being 43 years old and acting as if you are in your terrible twos and you have to lash out every now and again, expecting people to reel from it, when in reality we are all grown-up people and we can see straight through this person. We can see how transparent he is and we can see what he was trying to do, and he essentially ended up embarrassing himself. When you are trying to build one of these types of initiatives, it is important that everybody's communicating, everybody's firing on all cylinders, that you work together as a team, and that you know you can trust each other, that you know each person has integrity, so you don't have to worry about that type of thing. With Kweku, Garadina, and with Bomani, there was clearly no consistency with the way they were communicating with one another. One day everything would be good, the next day everything would be bad. Actually, even worse than that, in each and every conversation, every now and again you'd get it flowing and then boom, and then every now and again it'd go flowing again and boom. Every single time Bomani would come in and destroy things. You need to be constructive. That's what you're doing. You're constructing something. But imagine trying to construct a village with somebody there who is hell-bent on destroying things. How can you be constructive with a person who is destructive? The two are not conducive with one another, clearly. They're polar opposites. So it was always going to end in this way. Why did Garadina and Kweku deal with Bomani in the first place? It's clear that he is able to control himself to a certain degree, unless you say something or do something that triggers him. Now, this can be anything. So let's say you have a complaint about something that he had done whilst you were doing business. Let's say that you weren't happy with him being late. If you said something like that to him, he would not be logical or rational about it. He would see that as a personal attack on himself, and he would try to verbally attack you, or perhaps even worse. If you're a woman, you don't know what this man would do. We have heard word that he is a womanizer. I cannot guarantee that. I don't have any evidence to suggest that he's a womanizer. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
What, something wrong with you? So please, Bomani, I'm begging you, allow the disruptive behavior. Because like you coming to disrupt, rude boy. That's how I see it. Some disruption business. I told you already, and I'm going to say it one more time. We are Africans who are descendants of the people them who were kidnapped, murdered, and abused with all kind of things. We are carrying DNA baggage. And we have to recognize that.
And alas, that part was extremely important. What you had was this gentleman, Kwaku, saying that we carry a lot of baggage, a lot of emotional baggage, trauma from our descendants that have been passed down through us genetically. Okay, not a lot of people would believe in that, but I believe in that. I believe that we hold inside our bodies genetic material which gets passed on, and there is nothing we can do about it. We can heal it, but first we need to recognize that it is there to be healed. And Bomani is suffering. This man clearly is suffering. He's struggling with himself. So this person has no idea that he has this trauma inside him, and he is happy to be the way he is. And he sees everybody else as being strange for not being able to see things from his perspective. So last night he was effing, blinding, swearing, he was cursing, he making gestures with his fingers towards hundreds of people that could have potentially have seen him as a client. But he thinks that the people that are following him want to see him act this way. Are you the kind of person that wants to see the person that you could potentially do business with in the future act like that? I feel so sorry for the African continentals because of the caliber of people that we are sending over to Africa at this moment. I feel so sorry for them. They must be struggling. This is part of the reason why they struggle to deal with us when we get over to the African continent, because they believe that we are just like Bomani. Guys, it looks like we have a new poster child. I mean, this guy is way worse than Art Cathy, I believe anyway. I need to say this. Bomani Tyehimba is not the personification of Jamaican. Jamaican people do not act this way. He has definitely caught something somewhere. He has something inside of him, perhaps, because he does have Jamaican blood inside of him. But there is something else in there as well, and he is struggling with it. And I wish him luck in his journey to get himself well and healthy again. And I'm hoping that he can somehow find a way to banish whatever demon is lurking inside of him. So guys, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? What do you think about Bomani and his antics? Do you think that he is the type of person who will do well for the Pan-African movement? Do you think Bomani is a trustworthy person? Do you think he's a person that has ethics and morals? Do you think he's a person with integrity? Did he show that towards you last night? Answer for yourselves. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. It would be really good to hear your opinions on that. Maybe if you've had any experience with working with Bomani in the past. If you've had experience, please do not hesitate to contact me on tuntalks@gmail.com. That is tuntalks@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. So guys, that's it from me for today. I'd like to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'd like to give an extra special thank you to my patrons, and I will see you in the next one. Until the next time, please think twice. Ta-ra a bit.